Hello, everyone. Welcome to Teamwork Design, where we strive to design life from conversation to communication. I am your host, Terry Mera. What do you desire the most? Financial freedom, personal freedom, happiness, joy, success, nice car, a property for you and your family, a better career, better relationships. We have over 8 billion and more desires on this planet today. What efforts have you put into achieving your desires? And how do we know whether it is greed or ambition? Today, we obtain and receive overwhelming information through social media to get all kinds of information, including business, personal growth, financial growth, leadership, relationships, mental health, physical health, and so on. Ultimately, the main goal of all these information is to what? To achieve transformation from where we are to where we want to be, right? Taking online courses, reading articles and books, and screenshot quotes and images that resonate with us. I've done it many times. Yet, nothing changed, as if all these supposedly change the space we are in right now. How greedy are we? Some may think it is a harsh statement. However, I think we can learn to enjoy and understand the journey of growth and transformation once we acknowledge that we are greedy first. Regarding the outer circle of ambition and greed, it is more straightforward to spot since both start from a place of a desire. Greed is formed by selfishness and lack of empathy, whereas ambition is formed by sense of a purpose and positive impact. Yet, both often take risks to achieve one's desires or goals. However, honesty and truth can guide us towards ambition from greed amidst the pursuit of our goals. Most importantly, emotional greed is often justifies our greed regarding material or superficial achievements. How many justify the lack of time with our loved ones by prioritizing our work and career? I mean, because it pays the bills, right? I'm not saying it's wrong or right. Let's make that clear. Since it's a very fine line and can be confusing, and often we cross back and forth between greed and ambition while pursuing our desires and goals. But I think it's worth evaluating our greed and ambition since they impact our lives and our loved ones. Again, this is not a matter of judgment, but more acknowledgement and awareness. I love what I do. I worked very hard early in my career, all nighters, multiple clients while working full time. I admit that I was very ambitious to achieve every task that landed on my hand. I never missed a deadline in the industry that shouts everything supposedly done yesterday. And I often disregarded any empathy towards my associates or teammates. Greed took place, and I was justified by the results that I delivered. Let's put it this way. I won't be surprised if someone who worked for me or worked with me had a somewhat negative opinion about the behaviors that they experience. Some may say that's not greed. I would have agreed with that sentiment back then. But knowing and experiencing that there are many ways to deliver the results. I mean, don't get me wrong, I did my best based on what I know at that time. Was I aware of the difference between greed and ambition back then? Well, I was fogged by greed and could not see different ways to achieve my goals. Would I do it again the same way? No, because at the end of the day, your teammates matter. By sharing with you, I hope you can acknowledge the fog that was created by your greed and hopefully be able to spot it. I don't regret much of my past, as flawed as it may be, since there's nothing I can do to change my history. But what I can do is I can reflect and change the course of my future by evaluating and reflecting honestly. We can devise many justifications for what we do or don't. About a year ago during summertime, my 6 toes were bruised from running. Do you know that once your toes and toenails get bruised, you expect your new toenails to come out as bruised ones? I got so frustrated since it would stop me from running for a while and prevent me from achieving my monthly goal. However, I realized it was my greed to run faster without precautions or regard for my body. I should have examined and valued my body differently if I was ambitious, because that was not in my consideration, to be honest, when I decided to run faster and harder. You see how it is easy to cross the line between greed and ambition? Well, after reflecting on my past and evaluating myself, I understood that the results are on whether I was greedy or ambitious. And to be honest, it was not an easy pill to swallow. Emotional greed is even harder to spot. Comedian Chris Rock said on his last stand-up, "We are addicted to attention." Well, that comes from emotional greed. We can see this not only in social media platforms, but also more often than not in our relationships. When you are ambitious about a relationship, empathy implies acceptance and respect shows up. And when greed takes over, it's all about your emotions, controlling others, imposing your beliefs on others, and the victim you become, even with good intentions. How many opinions have you encountered on social media? Women and men projecting and imposing on what relationships should be. I'm not knocking their opinions, but sometimes I recognize emotional greed. How do you define your greed and ambition is based on your experience and beliefs? What do you desire? What effort have you put into achieving your desires? Please give it a thought while pursuing your goals, whether it's greed or ambition, so you can return and stay in a lane of ambition rather than greed. Everything has its price, whether you are aware of it or not. Thank you for tuning in. This is your host, Terry Mera.